Boom! Take that, feral. That is my favorite way to start a new episode. Shooting a feral in the head. So, welcome back to State of Decay 2 and the Lion's Share. I'm hoping my friends will just shoot the heck out of that Juggernaut before he gets into the base. In the meantime, Smooth Operator 31 has got a question, or a comment, I guess. It says, hey, so there was an issue at the beginning with people falling while trying to climb down ladders. Is it possible to implement ledges that we could actually push zombies off? So that is a thing we've thought about. That would be really interesting if, you know, if you're in the middle of a fight with a zombie in a high place, if there was a way that you could actually take more advantage of the environment. You know, I know that one of the favorite methods of taking zombies down for people who are very experienced with the game is to have a vehicle with spikes on it and to shove zombies into the spikes. I'm just going to avoid that bloater cloud if I can. But there are very few places where you can do stuff like that in our game. And part of the problem with that is, like, that kind of feature where it's like, you know, you have ledges marked up where you can throw zombies off, and there's like a particular way that they, you know, are clearly thrown off the ledge. It's not just they happen to accidentally fall and they sort of drift down awkwardly and they land on the ground and they, you know, get back up again. Having there really be sort of like a dedicated way to kill zombies by throwing them off cliffs. If we were to do that, it's a really good idea to do that before we've built all the maps. Because then we can build all the maps with that in mind. And we can, you know, design specific places that are just custom built for that kind of stuff. But we haven't. And so I think that we'd be unlikely to implement that kind of feature in State of Decay 2 because it would take so much like to take, you know, the 5 maps that we have and adapt them all to support a feature like that. It would be a lot. And you know, that time that we would spend doing that probably could be better spent doing other things. So we'd be unlikely to do it in State of Decay 2, but, you know, that idea of, you know, wanting there to be sort of more interesting and varied and location-specific ways of killing zombies, that is an idea that's appealing to us. And so, you know, maybe there's going to be a point at sometime future in the franchise. Sometime in the future of the franchise. That's how words work. You know, there might be an opportunity for us to do that sometime later, but it would have to be an idea that we decide to devote resources to early on, establish it, and then build all the maps around it, which is, you know, a little bit more of a logistical challenge to make something like that work. You'll notice that, like, you know, there's a lot of games that do that sort of thing, but the entire combat system tends to be built around it, around like environmental kills and stuff like that. And I really love that kind of game. So yeah, that does sound really cool. Oh, hey there, Awesome Twitch Dude. Awesome Twitch Dude has joined us, and I haven't acknowledged a bunch of other people like Micro Retro, 1331 showed up, a bunch of other people here. So, good to see you all in the chat. What was I going to do? Well, the first thing I was going to do this episode was switch characters, because that dude has gotten very tired. Haven't played Marshawn in a while, so we're going to play Marshawn. What does Marshawn have? He's got Prepper's 1022 with an advanced brake on it, and a sawed-off shotgun. The thing that this guy does not have is anything quiet. So that's going to be fun. So there's a few different things I could do. I've got a bunch of infestations scattered around, but I kind of want to let them get even worse before I go after them. So let's do something else. Let's go after this Clio mission. I really want to get a Haven device for this community, and so that means completing this series of Clio missions. So do I have... You know what? One thing I should actually have, in case I do need to kill a bunch of zombies without maybe making a ton of noise, I should probably have some fire. So let's grab some fire. And what abilities do I have here? I am not a gunslinger. I've got assault instead, which means I can carry more ammo than usual. But that means I am not going to be doing sort of the rapid-fire headshotting that I was doing with my last character. So hopefully I'll be able to survive in spite of that. All right, yeah, so we need to go meet up with Isby and do the critical download. It's kind of funny that there's basically 2 missions I've done back-to-back, because last episode I did an Isby mission, the one that takes you to Jurassic Junction, and now I'm doing the Isby mission that takes you to the swamp near Jurassic Junction. The sort of the movements of these two missions are remarkably similar. Ooh. Wandering Trader. Love to see it. Alright, let's just have fewer zombies to deal with as we're coming up on Isby. Ha! Way to be subtle. Oh, hello, feral. Okay, no, I would like to not come out here having to fight 3 ferals at the same time. So I'm having trouble deciding what I want to do with these ferals. I don't want to just get out of the car with all these ferals around. But they're very good. Oh, there we go. Did they all just climb on the car and I just instantly did something that killed them all simultaneously? Or did somebody get peeled off by Isby? No, it looks like nobody's on Isby. I think I just accidentally killed all those ferals. Good, I guess? Yeah, Isby, learn to shoot. Come on. All right. I gotta gas up this car. Oh, wait, I can't actually fit 2 fuel cans in here, so I'll just put the 1 in. Oh, what the? What was that nonsense? Ah, oh, sheesh. All right, and I'm firing a pretty noisy gun right now, so I don't know if I even improved anything by shooting those screamers with this gun. I might have just effectively screamed again. Oh! What the heck? Well, I'm glad this isn't lethal. I would be dead from 2 blood bloaters. All right, well, I have no stamina now, which is beautiful. Okay, anyway, I think we've completed this job. Isby, what's up?
Hey, listeners, I'm trying to track down a weird radio signal.
All right.
If you picked up anything you can't identify, let me know.
Let's get in the car.
Okay, let me lay this out. I'll try to keep it simple. It's breaking down because it relies on satellites, which we can't fix.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what direction I need to go. It's kind of funny. So it looks like the dialogue for this mission got delayed a little bit because Isby started saying dialogue from another mission at the same time, which is totally a thing that can happen. These missions are not really aware of each other. They just are aware of whether or not they're technically allowed to cast. So I think I can go down this way. Oh no! No, this is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yes! All right, there we go. Nothing happened. It's okay. Everything's good.
Hold on. Are you saying this Clio is an artificial intelligence?
Sorry.
Hello, all you zombies.
Now, let's get rid of the Zeds before we get to work. Get rid of it!
Okay, I don't want to destroy my car, so let's just... I did not bring any repair kits, so since this thing is in bad shape, we should get out and fight these zombies hand to hand instead of trying to crush them all. Hey there, Jimmy VR. I'm doing okay. Thanks for joining my chat.
This isn't easy, so I need you to put the Zeds away from me. FYI, it could get a little tricky.
This doesn't seem right.
That's a lot of zombies. Oh, shoot. Ah, there we go. Oh, right, the ground is all wet. I can't use fire the same way. Oh, look at that. It gets completely, oh my gosh, this is bad. Okay. Yeah, wow, there's just water everywhere. I thought there was only water in certain spots, but there is water everywhere here. I don't know if I can deal with all these zombies. Get off. Okay, that helped a little. Where's the... No. Holy crap. All right, that was a little bit helpful. I am not prepared for this nonsense. I was relying way too much on fire. Ah! Okay, so now Isby starts helping. Maybe that'll be good, except she's a terrible shot and takes forever to kill a zombie. Take that. Whew. Wow. So sorry, I'm not saying anything. I'm just kind of like reeling a little bit from how that went. Wait, what's over there? Is that a feral? That is a feral. Ooh, you see that? That's the reveal. That's what Clio stands for. People have been asking us what Clio stands for literally, what, 7 years? I guess this came out in 2021. So people were asking us what Clio stood for 6 years when we finally put that there. Oh, hello. Oh, nice work. You know what? Not even gonna worry about it. Actually, yeah, I'll squish the head. Okay. Cool. Well, we've got a wandering trader that we want to trade with. Before we do that, we need to go home and collect some stuff. So let's go home. Let's fix up this vehicle. I'm kind of impressed that Isby and I survived that. Basically, if this character had not had the assault skill and a bunch of very high capacity magazine and a bunch of cheap ammo, this would have gone very different. If I hadn't been able to basically aim at that crowd of zombies at head height and just start blasting away at them, if I had to like individually take down each zombie thoughtfully and carefully, I would have been overwhelmed. So even though I was not geared, like, I think Just V was pointing out in the chat that I went into that situation unprepared with the wrong gear, and I absolutely agree with that. Still, I just happened to have just enough of the right stuff to kind of make it work. All right, so let's re-equip. What have I... Wait, do I have no 22? Why do I have no 22? That's weird. I guess I've just been going through ammunition like crazy. Well, I've got a bunch of the ammo resource, so maybe I should make some. Let's make 75 of this. And I noticed I was almost out of that. I don't want to do too much of this. Actually, yeah, let's just stick there. So I'll grab some more 22. I'll reload. All right. So I've got that. Oh, I need to also repair my van. We'll take care of that first, and then I'm going to load myself up with trade goods. No, not this. Boom. There you go. I'm going to load myself up with trade goods. So what have we got? Actually, I'm going to get rid of this and that. Actually, I'm just going to not carry any of this. Let's sell a bunch of stuff. Now, I don't know if I've got a lot of luxuries. I picked a few up today. Okay, so I've got a few luxuries. I should get rid of some notes, too. And then duplicate hiking packs.
Can't carry that much.
All right. So we'll load the back of the Bandito with stuff we want to get rid of. So sometimes I have trouble selling all the stuff I want to sell because I just don't... they don't have enough influence to give me for all that stuff, especially when I'm selling like a bunch of like facility mods and things like that. I think I've already sold a lot of that stuff, though. Oh,
Pretty heavy.
I've got a bunch of... Actually, never mind. I've got a bunch of water coolers and generators. But if I'm selling mostly backpacks this time around, I'm just looking for ones that I've got multiples of. I have 2 bright blue ones, 3 bright blue ones, 4 bright blue ones.
No room for that.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to sell all my duplicates. All right. So let's head over. Oh, the Wandering Trader's real close. So this is nice and convenient.
I got an offer to make you guys. Roger?
Rolling out the welcome wagon. No, thank you. I've been ignoring all of the enclaves around here, so I've mostly just got a ton of hostile enclaves who've gotten sick of me. All right, so Awesome Twitch Dude is bringing something up that he saw probably in a Sunny Games video. He's asking a question about some Red Talon and Network weapons. So I don't know, maybe I should address that a little bit because Sunny Games basically I think was either looking himself or drawing from things that data miners had found in the latest build of State of Decay 2. And apparently some folks found some weapon catalogs, some item catalogs. An item catalog behind the scenes is how we define bounty packs. So they found an item catalog that contained Red Talon weapons, one that contained... I guess I shouldn't go searching until I've sold my stuff. One that contained network weapons, and was theorizing that that there might be upcoming bounty packs that are themed around network and Red Talon weapons. However, those item catalogs are not only for bounty packs. That's not the only thing that we use them for. Do I have any? Oh, I don't. Oh, right here. You'll notice that I've got this Critical Response Pack police knife. Now, this police knife is not actually from the Critical Response Pack. You don't unlock it through doing a bounty for Critical Response. Instead, we made it as a part of, I think, an earlier version of the Critical Response Pack, and then pulled it out and put it in common loot. And actually, the main place you find it now is in Plague Hearts. And so, even though it's part of the... What am I doing? Even though it's part of the Critical Response Pack item catalog, it's not actually in a bounty pack. And it turns out we can put items in a catalog together without needing to make them part of a bounty pack. And one of the things that we can do by putting items in a catalog together is stick a little icon up in the corner. You'll notice that the Critical Response Pack has this little siren icon associated with it. And so anything that is sort of themed with the critical response pack gets that siren icon, even if it's not technically part of the bounty pack. And so, for instance, if we were to want to put a network icon or a Red Talon icon on the existing network and Red Talon themed weapons, we could do that by putting them in an item catalog like a bounty pack and just not ever creating a bounty pack for them. So that is another potential explanation for why we might have created Red Talon and Network item catalogs. It does not necessarily mean that we would have made a bounty pack themed around Red Talon and the Network. Instead, it might just mean that we created item catalogs for them so that they can have those neat icons. Because I know that one thing that players have complained about in the past is the fact that sometimes one of the valuable things about those icons that we have on the bounty pack weapons is that you can always instantly recognize special rare weapons in your inventory. You can tell, like, oh wait, I'm going through my inventory, I'm like mulching a bunch of weapons so that I can get parts and make room in my inventory. And one thing I don't want to do is accidentally salvage something that I actually valued. And so having those icons on the weapons is really nice because you can see a weapon and immediately guess, oh, that weapon's got a special icon on it. It's rare and special. I can't get another one very easily, so I don't want to salvage this weapon. And so because players have that preference, that they want to make sure they're not, accidentally making that mistake. So we've got stuff to buy here. I'll think about stuff to buy in a second. Because they don't want to make those mistakes, it would be helpful, that players have suggested to us, it would be helpful if we put those icons on other rare weapons and other especially valuable weapons so that they can also recognize those weapons when they're going through and salvaging stuff. So that could be a reason why we would put weapons in an item catalog. It's not necessarily just because of bounty packs. So there we go. So when I watched that Sunday Games video, I was kind of like, it's interesting that he's found this stuff. Not all the conclusions that he's drawing about them are necessarily correct. But that's cool. That's fine. It's kind of fun to speculate. Even if you don't know the answers, it is kind of fun to speculate about stuff like that. So I don't have any problem with people speculating. As long as they recognize that, as long as people who are watching videos like that recognize that just because someone is guessing something in a video does not mean that has to be true. Should always sort of, be cautious when folks are making videos and sort of, speculating about what might be coming to State of Decay. There's always so many more potential explanations for what might be going on. Just always take what, rumors that you hear with a grain of salt. Oh, what the? Okay, there's a horde attacking now. I wanted to buy those meds from these people. Okay, luckily this is not a particularly bad horde. It's just kind of a normal horde. Doesn't seem like there's any screamers or any freaks tied to it.
I can't keep swinging this thing. I cannot keep this up.
Are we done? Okay, we're done. Come on, let's trade. Okay, I just want to buy your meds. I grabbed a white noise machine. I'm not actually sure if I already have a white noise machine somewhere. Where's my car? And again, thank you, Matea, for making my car so easy to find. I don't remember if I already have a white noise machine, but if I don't, that is something I might want to install in the lounge, or maybe in a bed, in one of my bedrooms or something like that, in order to keep increasing my morale, because that's been a focus of mine lately. Is I really want to get my morale up so that I don't end up. I've got a couple of cantankerous community members. And I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to keep them from starting fights with each other. Boom, 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 boom. So, Awesome Twitch Dude wants to know if, because he can see some of those icons on like Red Talon weapons and stuff in the public test realm. Does that mean they're going into the next update? That's a good question. I actually am not sure if that particular feature is going into the very next update. Some of those smaller things, like I would need to kind of go over our patch notes as we write them to be absolutely sure, because Raneth Court is pointing out in the chat that that I said, on the latest State of Decay 2 stream, I pointed out that we're trying out this this feature, this the infestation changes in the public test realm very early, and they're not actually probably going to be in our next update. Our next update will probably contain something else, and so I'm not actually certain if the next update is going to include icons on Red Talon weapons, or if that's going to also be in a further in the future update. So I'll have to look into that. So I can't give you a guarantee one way or the other. We have not announced what is in the next update, and so I definitely can't give you a bunch of information on that. All right, so while I'm here, and this apparently, this wandering trader showed up in a bonanza barn that is just full of stuff, so I should grab everything that's here, too, before I leave. Looks like just one more container to search. And to make a bunch of noise, yes, food. Okay, so I am coming home with tons and tons of stuff.
30 seconds. It's all right, Clio. You don't have to broadcast our test results to the entire valley.
So Ted Fitzpatrick says, I think those changes sound really cool. I'm pretty excited about them too, actually. Like, it's kind of fun that we've kind of gotten into this phase of development on State of Decay 2 where like a lot of the the big things, a lot of our like sort of big pieces of content, things like definitely Heartland is deep in the past, and we've the Trumbull Valley missions, at least with the Homecoming update, we're kind of done with those. Like, our focus is kind of shifting now to taking existing features, existing parts of the game that were kind of underdeveloped, and thinking how we can make them better, which is a whole different type of approach to sort of ongoing game development than adding new content. Like, adding new content is one thing, but going in and taking existing systemic aspects of the game and making them better is a whole other thing. And I think that that's an approach to this sort of like post-release development that I think has a lot of potential to expand the replayability of the game. And so I'm a huge fan of our sort of strategic decision to focus on that kind of thing. So I'm really excited to see these sort of these changes come to State of Decay and sort of make the strategic experience of making decisions around how to play the map, how to build your community, those are going to be, and how to defend your community, that those are going to be getting more interesting and more meaningful over time. Micro Retro asks, by the way, would it be possible to let your AI survivors drive for you? Like, if you set a marker to go to, will they drive there? Just an idea. So theoretically, that is a thing that some other games have done. I know that the Far Cry series, for instance, has put a lot of work into making it possible for AI characters to drive vehicles around. So you can like not only sort of encounter AIs driving around in vehicles, but you can actually let your companion drive. Send them markers and have them path around. But driving a car is actually a very complicated stuff to ask an AI to do. And so it would take a lot of work to make that work. And one thing that's actually kind of tough is that, even like Far Cry does have this problem where, a lot of the world is wilderness. And we've got that even more. Like, one of the most common things you do in State of Decay 2 is drive off-road and drive out to places that don't really have a clear, obvious path. Where there's a lot of rocks in the way and there's a lot of like, weird cliffs and stuff like that. Teaching AI to be able to drive in a freeform setting, to know, like when you get stuck, how to back out, how to do a 3-point turn, all these basic skills that sort of that we pick up as we're learning to drive, that my daughter is actually learning to do right now at her driving classes. That's really hard to teach an AI how to do, to give them the context to solve those kinds of problems. And it can take a lot of effort. And so we ended up deciding, while during the development of State of Decay 2, not to mark up the map in such a way that would like make it possible for AI to drive around, not to devote those resources to make it possible for AI to drive. That can be just a harrowing challenge. So it's not an impossibility. Like we can, it's conceivable to allow that kind of thing to happen. It would be a lot of work to get from here to there. Again, especially with the expectations you might have where, you can just drive everywhere on this map. Like, trying to teach an AI how to drive sort of the complicated, paths across this river between the rest of Trumbull Valley and Fairfield, for instance. Those of you who have driven in this area, it is extremely convoluted, and teaching an AI to do that would be fraught with peril. You would probably, the first, unless we did a ton of iteration on it, constantly solving little problems, you'd probably get into more trouble than you want to trying to let an AI drive. The closest idea that actually seemed feasible was people have suggested the idea of sort of marking a vehicle and saying, hey, can an AI come and pick this vehicle up? And then when you're away from it, it just teleports and we pretended that an AI drove it. That's the kind of thing that might be more feasible because it doesn't actually require us to teach AI how to drive, which is, a whole big thing. Smooth Operator points out those Far Cry AI drivers crash a lot too. They do. That is, and again, honestly, it's a miracle that it works as well as it does. I have a lot of respect for the Far Cry team taking on the challenge of trying to teach their characters to drive in an off-road wilderness setting. Like, that is a very difficult thing to do. And so they should be very proud of their accomplishment there. And yet, the AI crashes and does weird stuff all the time. And so, it's a very difficult problem. Teaching AI to do things that humans just do all the time is a very difficult problem. Okay, so I've got a game console. That's actually probably a better thing to install in the lounge. What else do I have here? Okay, so I've got a space heater. That's plus 3 morale. But the white noise machine is plus 10 morale. So that's probably a better choice. What do we have here? This is, again, plus 3 morale. Okay, so yeah, I kind of like the comfy chair. So let's get rid of the space heater, or the camp heater. And then let's install the white noise machine instead, because I think it's a better morale booster. And now I'm actually curious, do I have any other morale boosters? Did I have another white noise machine already? It looks like I did not. Do I have anything else that gives more morale than the stuff I've already got? There's a lot of plus 3 morale stuff here, but I'm not seeing a lot more than that. Yeah. Wait! I'm hearing Lily call in the Raid Santos mission. Yes! Oh, I got the news van this time! You see that? Look at that news van! Oh my gosh, I gotta repair it. I'm gonna repair it. Oh, I'm so happy about my news van. I'm so happy about my news van. Alright. Fix that van! Nice! Oh, this is great. We have got such a variety of vans right now. So I'm gonna park this van alongside all the other vans. I wonder if the game is deliberately giving me a variety. Like, is it on purpose? Like, I've got 2 dark gray vans, a red one, a blue one, and a news van now. Like, am I going to get an ambulance next? I don't know. I guess these are cargo vans. These are different from ambulances. These are just different variants of the cargo van. I don't think it's just any van. It's specifically the 2-door cargo van that I'm getting. But yeah. So Micro Retro 1331 says, by the way, I love the fact that you guys added the original Xbox in the game. Yeah, so when we decided we wanted to do a game console, like that was like the designers, when we're sort of planning, what facility mods we want or something like that. Usually what we'll do is we'll say, hey, we want something like this that has this function. But then it goes to the artists, and the artists have a lot of freedom to sort of decide what exactly we give. And so I'm pretty sure it was either Brant or somebody else on the art team who took the idea of, oh, we should put a game console in there, and said, you know what the game console should be? It should be the original Xbox. Because, we've always been, published by Microsoft, and so that's something we can depict in the game. We've got permission to do it, so that's one factor. But also, we tend to depict our world as having older technology, as having, we tend not to put whatever's sort of cutting edge of the moment in the game, just because we want this game to have a little bit of a nostalgic vibe to it. And so putting in sort of latest, up-to-date, like if there was an Xbox Series X in here, it feels like it would kind of date the game to being from a particular period of time, whereas an original Xbox makes you feel like, oh, it could happen. This could take place anytime, going back to like when was it released, like 2001 or something like that. It kind of broadens the range of time that this game could take place, and makes people feel, nostalgic for their childhood rather than just feeling like, oh yeah, there's an Xbox, I see that every day. And so the game's got this very specific vibe to it that I think that really sort of contributes to. Anyway, I think we're at the end of this episode, so let me sort of pause the game and, again, as always, try to catch up with all the stuff I missed in the chat. Let's see here. So, Awesome Twitch Dude says, hostiles attacking your base would be fun. Potentially, I don't know, hostile humans, I think we would need to put more development into their AI and how they behave in combat in order for that to actually be fun. Because we actually did some experiments with hostiles attacking your base. In fact, the Arsehole Enclave, the people who eventually demand that you leave your base as you progress the Enclave story. When I originally sort of wrote those missions, the endpoint was not them demanding that you leave your base, or they'll go hostile. The endpoint was actually them attacking you. Was sort of the last phase, and I tried to make that work, but unfortunately, like what happened was the AI would all sort of line up, and they'd all sort of line up at a door and go charging into your base, and you could just sort of line up and just headshot them all one at a time. We don't have the kind of AI that would let them, they can defend themselves by just sort of like trying to take refuge in safe places, and if you're attacking them, they know what to do. But we don't have AI specifically designed for them to sort of fan out, invade your base from different angles, and try to be an interesting invader. And so until we have the time and resources to spend on making attacking hostile AI, hostile human AI, having them attack your base would be just kind of not fun. So I agree that could be really neat, but it's a bigger job than it might sound like to make that actually a satisfying experience. Oh, so Benny says goodnight from the German undead hype. Yeah, so I guess, it's probably pretty late in Germany right now, so I appreciate that you came and watched my stream when it's so late at night over there in Central Europe. So, I was good to have you here. Sorry, I probably acknowledged you after you already went to bed, but maybe you'll watch this later on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. So Artalvo suggests that we could add an Xbox 360 with State of Decay on it as for a morale bonus. That is something we could potentially do. That's not a crazy idea, except that, I mean, it's weird to be playing State of Decay inside State of Decay. It's a little bit too self-referential. I think that might break the fantasy a little bit too much. Having an Xbox exist in this world, letting people talk about playing Halo, playing Gears, I think both of those are mentioned in traits. That's okay. Having the game you're playing exist inside the game you're playing might be a little bit much. So Surreal Diagonal points out that, like, for instance, we do have AI attacking a location at the end of the Trader Summit mission, at the end of the Trader Legacy, and it is weird when it happens. Don't they sort of march single file towards the place where you are? We try to set it up so that you're likely to be inside a building and you don't see how weirdly they behave until they're popping in the doors, but it does look a little bit weird. So that is a good example of why, having them making a big event of, hostile humans attacking your base could just set people up for disappointment. So, we'd want to put some more work into that before trying to do it. Oh, and Smooth Operator points out that also, because enclaves are typically limited to 3 members, having them attack your base at those numbers would probably just be disappointing because, like, oh, you had 3 headshots and it's over. I agree about that. Ted Fitzpatrick suggests that you could play Project Zomboid inside State of Decay. That could be a little bit interesting, doing like call-outs to other zombie games that we appreciate. Like Project Zomboid, or like, what's it called? Last Stand Aftermath and Death Road to Canada, stuff like that. That could be pretty fun. I don't know I don't think it's like we have other priorities. We're probably not going to do that, but that would be pretty cool. I do like it when games reference each other and give each other shout-outs. Smooth Operator says, ooh, what if you unknowingly recruited a cannibal? So I think we did sort of think about that, like how interesting it would be to have like real threats arising inside your community. But at the same time, people tend to invest a lot in their characters, and if you really liked a particular character and then they went cannibal on you, on one hand, that's an entertaining story, but on another hand, if you, like, people invest in the characters of State of Decay on two different levels. On one level, they invest in their characters as, as people in a story. And at that level, it is interesting if the characters betray each other, if there's big drama that goes on, that can be interesting. But players also invest in their characters as commodities, as sort of like, this is a thing that I have. Like, it's a person, but it's also a thing. And, this is a thing that lets me take advantage of these particular skills, and they look a certain way, and it lets me sort of, enjoy the aesthetics of the community that I've built. And there's all these other reasons why you value a character. And so taking a character away from you by making them betrayers, it might be interesting on a story level, but on a, these are my characters level, I own these are mine, it could get very frustrating and disappointing to have a character suddenly yanked from you that way. And so, we thought about it, but we kind of decided that it's probably safer for your enjoyment of the game for us not to try stuff like that, at least unless we gave the ability to opt out of it or something. Yeah, so Quintaria says, imagine if you gave the cannibal a 50 cal and he blasted half your people before being even discovered. Exactly. That's the kind of thing that feels like would be a little bit too much. So anyway, so I've been streaming this for a while. I think we should probably wrap this up. Boink. Here is my subscribe button. You can click that if you want to. The next State of Decay video I make is going to go over there, so you can click there. And stuff.